starting to get a better understanding as to what happened with the raid on Mar-A-Lago from earlier this week, and now we got a little bit more insight on how far it goes up the chain of command here, and it looks like it goes right all the way up to the top. But remember, Biden had no idea what was going on. We could ask him for comment on this situation, but remember, he's also on his private island in South Carolina on vacation. Very well deserved, right? It's not like he didn't spend the past 2 weeks recovering from the coup. Whatever. Attorney General Merrick Garland says he personally approved FBI's Trump raid. Great. It's almost like this little midget really has a personal vendetta from the guy who indirectly cost him a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. You also wonder why the Department of Justice and at large the entire Democratic establishment hates Trump so much. Cost them that split, okay? Cost them 3 Supreme Court justice appointees, okay? Because, yeah, they felt entitled. They overlooked the potential popularity of Trump in 2016, and now they're enacting I could take a look over there for which law of power it is, but crush your enemies completely. They never want to give up power ever again. That's why they're so fervent in kneecapping the Supreme Court, which under different circumstances I would be totally behind them, but I know that they're not exactly on the up and up when it comes to keeping a modicum of authenticity behind their motives. So you want to do term limits and you want to kind of return them back to interpreting the law instead of legislating from the bench, I'd be totally fine with that. But this administration right now, the entirety of the swamp, it should just all be drained, okay? Not to use like a campaign talking point or anything like that, okay? I think it's good nomenclature, especially for the times that we're dealing with here. There should be term limits on everybody because this corruption goes all the way up until the top. And again, that's why the establishment is so big shook by Trump, because he is an outsider. Sure, he knows everybody that's in Washington, D.C., and yeah, he was president, but he came in with the best of intentions. Was he allowed to carry out all of his campaign promises? No, he was kneecapped for the first 2 years because of Paul Ryan's funny tactics. We'll go with that one. And then, yes, Nancy Pelosi constantly impeaching him, needling him for the final 2 years of his presidency after the Republicans lost the House, okay? Because rhinos ran the House to begin with, and then Nancy Pelosi's crazy ass ran it for the second half of the administration. So there were only certain things that Trump can do from his office when both sides aren't going to play ball. He wasn't going to legislate like a dictator. How many executive orders has Biden signed, by the way? Oh no, I'm not gonna reign like a dictator. Yeah, no, exactly. He caused all of this shit that's going on around us. But no, you don't want to take any responsibility for that, right? You just want to continue to shift the blame, and then when asked for questioning, I have no idea. I gotta go on vacation now. I gotta go to Delaware for the weekend because this job is hard. On a 79-year-old dementia patient. I'm sure it probably is. But all of his friends are there to do all of his dirty work for him, so while the old man's out playing all of the bad faith actors, they'll be more than willing to seize the levers of power and then just really twist the knife at this point. Because what was Trump talking about last week or the end of the week before? He was really taking a look at draining a bunch of that swamp water and a bunch of the different 3-letter alphabet agencies, trimming a whole bunch of fat, and we can't be letting that happen now, can we? So yeah, we'll just go ahead and raid Mar-A-Lago because we think that he has documents, I guess. Like, we don't even know what the fuck this is all about yet. That's why there's also been a motion, so we're gonna be seeing this search warrant here very shortly. If not tomorrow, probably by the beginning of next week. So let's get into the finer details of what Merrick Garland was lying about. Attorney General Merrick Garland on August 11th said he personally approved the FBI's raid earlier this week of the personal Mar-A-Lago residence of former President Donald Trump. The FBI usually seeks approval from the top before conducting a raid on a political target. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, and especially I don't think it's ever happened. Like, that's been thrown around and that's been memed in entirety, but I don't think it's ever happened to a former president of the United States. But no, it's different now because Orange Man's like really bad. You need to realize that, folks. Garland's confirmation on Thursday was the first public statement to the Department of Justice and the FBI on the unprecedented search. And again, what's the grounds for this? None of this has been cleared up so far. Maybe he gets into it. I've been too hard on him. Garland told reporters that the agency filed a motion Thursday to unseal the court-approved search warrant that was executed at the home belonging to the former president before Trump confirmed the raid, as is his right. Yeah. And funny thing, too, because there's other articles and there's other stories about this as well. I'll just cut to the chase on this one. That Judge Bruce Reinhart, okay, the former lawyer who left his original position at the ADA's office in southern Florida under dubious circumstances in order to represent a Jeffrey Epstein-linked individual, only to return to be appointed to the bench by Barack Obama. Nothing funny, nothing sus about that at all. His page on the government website, it's just magically gone all of a sudden. Hasn't lost his job or anything like that. He's just gone for right now. Funny things about that. I personally approve the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. The department does not take such decisions lightly. Oh, you probably didn't take it lightly. I'd imagine you were probably all too giddy to be doing it. Oh, you guys want to go in? You want to break down some doors in Mar-A-Lago? Oh, please, where do I sign? Where do I sign? He said copies of the warrant were provided to Trump's lawyers on Monday by FBI agents. They would have released them by now if that was the case. I'm just saying. Somebody's lying here. The Attorney General claimed that FBI agents are patriotic and dedicated public servants who protect Americans against violent crime and terrorism. I am honored to work alongside them. Yeah. Yeah, what was the FBI doing? Well, cities were burning while, let's just say, theoretically, a first son has several pieces of electronics that detail a bunch of nefarious business dealings. Oh, you're just investigating those, but they're on the right side of the political aisle, right? Not the actual right. You know exactly what I mean. So far, the Justice Department and the FBI have remained mostly mum about the purpose and the probable cause behind the raid and have repeatedly declined to publicly comment to the Epoch Times and other news outlets. Yeah, we still don't know why it was raided, okay? They've confirmed it has. Why has that happened? The reasons? So there's only just room to speculate at this point. Like, if you guys were actually trying to pinch Trump on something, you wouldn't be this sloppy. Like, I try to give these bad actors a little bit of reverence for their plans, but when they enact this so sloppily, there's just so much room for people to speculate, okay? Just go in and say you're searching for documents. Just make it just be upfront with people. They would take it one way or another. The partisans are going to just fall where they may, but then the people in the middle who just want to take a look at this is like, oh, if Trump's doing something fucked up, yeah, then they have every right to go search him. Okay, that's fine. But if it's a little bit more dubious with your claims, people will fall on the other side and let the information fall where it may. Okay, if you have the actual evidence, that's fine. Okay, I'm willing to assess that. But when you don't say anything and you just leave it all up for interpretation, you're just hanging yourself at this point. So why are you doing this? You have all of the time in the world. I'm sure you've been plotting shit like this for a very long time. So why is it so sloppy? I don't want to think that you guys are just this stupid and unorganized, but you're really leaving me with no other alternative interpretation. Anyways, a day before Garland's statement, FBI Director Chris Wray declined to speak about the FBI search, saying that it is not something I talk about and I'd refer you to the department. And then the department would say, no, we're just not going to talk about it. I'll refer you to the FBI, and ends up being a big who's on first play. Anyways, the White House, meanwhile, said that it's not aware of the FBI raid before it was announced by Trump earlier this week. So again, okay, it was either given the thumbs up by the Department of Justice, it went all the way to the top, or it was just one of those rogue actions done by the FBI. Like, what the fuck are we actually doing here? So we got response from the Trump side of this. Okay, the FBI's Trump raid improperly intrusive, and the circumstances indicate, according to his lawyers, because if the Department of Justice, outside of, well, we're going to file a motion to unseal the search warrant. Okay, when light is shone on that, there's going to be more questions than answers, I would imagine. So what does Trump's side have to say about this? Because theoretically, they have a copy of the search warrant, so what are we waiting for? There's reason to suspect that the FBI search of the Florida residence of former President Donald Trump was improperly intrusive, according to several lawyers. The raid prompted a rebuke from Trump and Republicans more broadly, and further escalated political tensions in the nation. Yeah, it's further galvanized people, because you can take a look at a bunch of the different reaction, knee-jerk polls that are out there right now. We won't have any concrete or a little bit more reliable numbers until next week, whenever the actual polls start coming out. But as of right now, Republicans are even more galvanized around Trump than they have been in the past, which was pretty strong to begin with, so congratulations. What you were hoping for, okay, people just hopping off of the Trump train, now it went from being via rail to like that Mumbai shot where there's just motherfuckers with, a lot of long flowing linen just hanging off to the side of it, okay? Like, you didn't accomplish what you hoped to. Oh well. About 24 FBI agents entered Trump's Palm Beach resort, Mar-A-Lago, at about 9 a.m. August 8th. Wow, it's been that long ago. Feels like a lifetime. Feels like just yesterday as well. And left about 10 hours later with a handful of boxes of documents. One of Trump's attorneys on the scene, Christina Bobb, told the Epoch Times, "I didn't actually get to oversee the search. They wouldn't let anybody see what they were doing. It wasn't clear what legal basis the FBI had over the raid. The agents had search warrants signed by a judge, Bruce Reinhold. However, the affidavit explaining the basis, its probable cause, was filed under seal. So all they had was just, we're here to search. Why are you here to search? We're here to search. Okay. However, in general, the agents were looking for what they deemed to be presidential records, she said. I don't think there was anything of substance. Trump's legal team will take steps to obtain the affidavit, which now they won't have to because a motion by the Department of Justice has been filed to unseal it. We'll see how many redactions are going to be a part of that, because that's going to be important as well. Because, again, if it just looks like a big old piece of paper with just Trump, Mar-a-Lago, Department of Justice, Merrick Garland's name, but then a signature blocked out, like if there's no evidence on it at all whatsoever, like what are we going to do about it? But again, they also said that Trump's lawyers, on Monday, provided copies of it by FBI agents. So if that was in fact the case, why haven't we seen this? That's what I want to know. But I guess we're going to be seeing it here sooner rather than later. All it does is just, once again, it just really looks like they're big shook by the orange guy. And like I said, what was that, Tuesday, I guess, when would have been the follow-up video on everything that we knew at the time. We don't know why, but we know who's involved. So the what and the why comes next. What were they looking for, and why were they there? Because we already know who's involved, when they were there. Obviously, that's fairly cut and dry. Where they hope to go with this, it's obvious to disqualify, like Marjorie Taylor Greene's 90 IQ ass. I like her and stuff, okay? She does a bunch of the funny campaign things, but let's be honest, she's not exactly the fucking sharpest tool in the drawer. And she was saying, this is all because the Department of Justice is just hoping to disqualify Trump for 2024. And I was like, yeah, everybody knows that already. How much money did you fundraise off of that statement? Congratulations. You fucking stated the obvious. I appreciate it, and sometimes you have to restate the obvious just to ground yourself when covering this type of things, but you're not really adding to the conversation. Thanks, bitch. But we're looking for how this happened. How did we get to this point? Well, just survey the past couple of years. But remember, guys, pay attention to that impending invasion of Taiwan by China, right? Or, make sure that you still continue to stand with Ukraine and just worry about things that are much greater than what's going on in your very backyard, because that's what's important, okay? Supporting current thing. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.